Okay, I'd like to read from Numbers, chapter 13. I will start at verse 26. This is the story of the Israelites who spied out the land of Canaan before they were to go in and conquer it. Okay, verse 25, Numbers 13. And they, being the spies, returned from searching out the land after 40 days. They went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, We came unto the land whither thou sent us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey. This is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. Moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. The children of Anak were Nephilim. They were giants. Verse 29, the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains. The Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses. Remember, the entire congregation of Israel was there. Every man, woman, and child of the nation of Israel was present as this report was being issued. Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, Let's go up at once and possess it. We are well able to overcome it. But the men that went up with Caleb and Joshua said, We be not able to go up against the people. They are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land, which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. And there we saw the giants, the son of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Two reports. Two different reports. One that paints a good picture of the God who is attempting to deliver them, and one that paints a not-so-good picture of God. Can we really trust God? Can we really believe His Word? Can we really trust the Word of God that says that we can conquer this land? He's telling us to go take it. Two different reports. I look at this as two different character assessments. Not of the land. This has nothing to do with the land. This has nothing to do with the walled cities or the giants. This has nothing to do with geography. This has nothing to do with logistics. This has nothing to do with military capabilities of the Israelites or the inhabitants of the land. This has everything to do with God's character. Can we trust Him to deliver the land to us? Or can't we? And who did the people side with? I wonder what report the entire nation. Now, scholars tell us that there were at least 2 million Hebrews wandering the desert at this time. 2 million. That's a lot of people. So there's about 2 million people standing there listening to these reports. Which one do you think they believed? And now if you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, I think you know. What did the majority of people believe? The good report of God or the character assassination of God? I wonder what they believed. Let's go to the next chapter. Chapter 14. Numbers. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. Let me read that again. And all the congregation cried and wept. Verse 2, and all the children of Israel, all of them, all of them murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt. Would God that we had died in this wilderness. Out of 2 million people, 2 of them, 2 individuals, Joshua and Caleb, believed the good report. 2 people out of 2 million refused to believe the bad report. We looked that up, my wife and I, the other day. That's like 0.00001% of the population refused to believe the slanderous report. That's astounding. Yet it isn't. I used to wonder about this and think it's strange. How come nobody seems interested to hear my side of the story? Growing up in a household of abuse, you know? I am familiar with 2 narc families. My own, which was presided over by overt narcs. They called me a piece of fecal matter openly, and they were quite open about it. They made no bones about the fact that they didn't give a rat's about me. And you know what? I prefer that to what my wife went through, which was the covert narc abuse, in which they covered their contempt with Christianity and Christian love. But either way, this is the thing that I used to shake my head over till I started studying the Bible about this. How come no one in the family, my family or hers, not a soul, seems interested in hearing our side of the story? And trust me, we've both had lies spewed about us. Our characters have been assassinated, and then some. Why won't one person in her family? Why didn't one? I've been no contact for a long time for mine, over, 12 years, 11 or 12 years. Not a soul from mine wanted to hear my side of the story. Those who I thought were close to me, my own sister, Didn't care. Yeah. Our own son doesn't even seem to care. The whole family believes the slanderous report of the narcissist about us. With me, it centers around me being an addict. I'm not addicted to anything. Am I? No. Maybe studying. I'm a drug. To this day, I believe it. I'm a druggie. I hardly take Advil. Now, back in the day, okay, when I was a kid, yeah, I needed it. And my wife is the crazy one. She's crazy. I'm serious, though. They all believe it, too. She's crazy. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We should not think it's strange when the entire family believes the report of the narc. It happened to God. I don't care how upright of character you are, you're not as good as he is. I'm not as good as he is. And they're slandering his character. The whole nation. I tell you, God was so upset about it, he essentially disinherited them at that moment. He kept them alive because he was going to wipe them out. Moses interceded for him, and so God kind of kept them alive, but not a one of them entered the promised land. And he told Moses, I am disinheriting this people. I'm done with them. Why didn't they believe the good report? Why did 2 million people, the entire family of Israel, why did they believe that God would not take care of them? Why did they believe God would not perform what he had promised to them? Was it because of the giants? Was it circumstantial? Was this the root cause of their unbelief? No. And circumstances are not the root cause of your family's unbelief in you. I think Hebrews, the New Testament, book of Hebrews, chapter 3, gives us the reason. And this is quoting God himself. I was grieved with that generation, speaking of the people we just read about. God said, I was grieved with that generation. The word grieved also means severely vexed. In extreme agony and anguish. It doesn't simply mean sorrow. It means vexed, hurt tremendously, feeling betrayed. I was grieved with that generation and said, they do always err in their heart. Maybe the reason that no one in your family or my family took the time to find out our side of the story, but rather believed the slanders of the narc, has something to do with their heart. Maybe. They always err in their heart, not their mind, not their personality. They had a personality disorder. Okay. They do always err in their heart, and they have not known my ways. That's the root of it. That's the root of why they didn't believe God. That's the root of why they believed the slanderous report concerning God. And that's the root of why everyone in your family, or the majority of people in your family, choose to believe the lies of the narcissist. Because they don't know your ways. They don't know you. They don't know the way you think. They don't know the way you feel about things. They don't know your moral character. I'm sorry, hon. And that was my next point. Why don't they know you? Well, for the same reason the house of Israel didn't know God's ways or didn't know God. They didn't want to, exactly. They didn't care. When you get down to it, it's so simple, a preschooler can get it. They didn't treasure you enough to get to know you. Just as the people of Israel didn't treasure or value the one who was delivering from slavery enough to get to know him, to get to understand his character and his goodness and his integrity. The people in your family who choose time and again to listen to the lies spread about you did it because they really don't care about you. They really don't care about the things that motivate you. The things which are the things that define you. It matters not that they may have grown up in the same household with you from birth and eaten at the same table with you, played with the same toys as you. It matters not that the narc may have married you and slept with you. That don't mean he knows you. That doesn't mean he's interested in the real you. How you truly feel about things. Your character. I'll be honest, I think most of us, I know I am, it's part of our flesh. It's part of our fallen nature, if you want to call it that. I think most of us are inclined to, at least initially, believe negative things said about other people. I know I can be that way. It's wrong. But I hope at least I'm mature enough to realize, maybe I ought to look into this a little deeper. Maybe before I rush to judgment about someone, maybe I ought to get to know them a little better. And actually, I think that's my conscience that leads me to go that route,
The other way too. Get to know what they are before you get too close. You get hurt.
Yeah. But that being said, I keep saying a lot. I'm sorry. That being said, however, and I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Well, I can't remember what I was going to say, but I will repeat myself. The people who choose to listen to the lies, they may have been close to you, they may not have been, are people who truly don't care about you as a person. And this is an excellent gauge to determine who you and I are going to let in our hearts and who we're going to keep out of our hearts. And I think that's all I have for now. Thank you.